Okay, hi. Oh my gosh, it's so nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. How's it going?
I'm pretty good. I'm such a huge fan of yours. When they told me that I got to do this, I freaked out a little bit, and then I was like, that's crazy.
Oh my gosh, thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
How has this past week been since releasing Uh-Oh?
Honestly, I feel like it was such a crucial time to like release this song for me that it felt like such a relief when I actually like got to put it out into the world. I mean, I've never really written a song like this before, and I feel like it kind of just like starts the chapter for like a new part in my music, which is really exciting. So I'm good.
What was the thought process between like writing it?
I mean, it wasn't like we like walked into the room and we're like, oh my God, we have to write this song. It was more like we are just this one producer, Lou Bell, he's incredible. He started playing like I remember we were just literally chilling in the studio, like sitting there doing like whatever. And all of a sudden he starts playing this like melody, which is like obviously the chorus melody. And the three of us who were just like kind of in the room, we just started like yelling out a whole bunch of different things like to the melody. And it was super quick and super easy. And it was just honestly just like go with the flow kind of situation and not too thought about. And then we just started messing around with lyrics. And it was just a fun process. Like it wasn't too hard, wasn't too thought out. It was just like really fun for us to do.
You've been teasing it for almost a month now on TikTok. Is that
Yeah.
become, has that become like one of the things like you like doing now is teasing those kind of songs off TikTok and seeing how your fans react to them?
I feel like it's like dangling a little carrot in front of people. Like it's like I'm like I don't like not dropping the song. I mean that part sucks is I'm like I wish I could literally release it tomorrow, the first day that I tease it, but like obviously it takes so much time to just like get songs out into the world. And everyone has to like be on the same page. It's just like a full thing. But yeah, I wish I could literally just say post and it be out the next day, but it doesn't work like that. So I'm just like, I was so anxious to just like get it out there that I just started teasing it. I feel like at the end of the day, it's like what your fans like. If my fans don't like it, I'm probably not going to release it and I'm probably not going to, but it's all a process. Like I don't, you never really know when the song's going to drop. It could drop the next week, but you never really know.
Speaking of your album, do you have just like a case of songs that you've recorded throughout however long and you pick through those to see which ones you want to put on the album? Or is it more of just it is what it is? Like these are going to go on the album. Like I know these want to go here, these go there. Like if that makes sense.
For the album, I wrote a lot of songs last summer. So the summer that I turned 18 was like when I wrote majority of the album. And I think it was really crazy because I had to basically put together like my debut album as I was going on my first ever like world tour. So I mean that's hard on its own. Like you're traveling every single day in like foreign countries. You're playing shows every day, doing interviews, meeting fans. Like it's like a full thing on tours. Like it's super busy. And then at the same time, I was like so stressed because I'm like, how the hell am I going to put together like a full album when I'm doing this much stuff at the same time? So yeah, it was definitely a struggle. But I had like 50 songs to choose from, and I guess it was just like at the end of the day, I just kind of went with my gut feeling at that point in time, and went with it.
Holy cow, that's a lot of songs. So I guess speaking of all those songs, like do you plan to eventually put the rest of those out or do those go like in a vault?
I don't know. I mean, sometimes songs come around on me. It's like weird because I'll write a song sometimes, and I'm like, this doesn't relate to my life at all. Like, why did I just write this song? It's stupid. And then like 6 months later, I'm like, oh my God, like I am going through this right now. And that's usually when I release the songs is like when I feel it personally. Just because then I can like really put everything behind it. But yeah, it depends. I mean, Uh-Oh was kind of a vault song from the album. I just didn't think it like fit into my album. Like I felt like my album was pretty emotional and Uh-Oh just isn't. So
I was trying to figure out earlier. I was like, hey, I need to find like my favorite song like on the album. So I was like going through it. I was making some of like my coworkers listen to it. And I was like, hey guys, we got to pick a favorite one. And
okay.
they were all so good. Like they're all so raw. How do you just put like that much into it? And how do you let yourself be that vulnerable on an album?
I mean, I think I genuinely was just in a really vulnerable place as a person when I wrote that album. Like even when I think back, like a year ago, like I'm 19 now, I feel like I'm like a little more settled in my life. I kind of just like have my head screwed on straight. Like last year I was in a sensitive place, and I feel like everything that I wrote about, I was just like scarred. Like I was just like felt everything super intensely. And I think obviously moving out of your house at age 17 and then, going through stuff, trying to, move to LA and get into the industry and just like feel all that. I think I was just like going through a lot. And so I just I had a lot to talk about. And I also just didn't want my first album to feel ingenuine. Like I'm like 18 is like pretty young to put out an album. You just have to do what feels genuine at the time, whether or not that drags on to when you're 20. You could be like, I don't even know what I was talking about then, but it at least just felt like super real to me at the time and was very therapeutic.
How was it playing those songs in concert? Because you just got back from a pretty big tour, correct?
Yeah, so it was weird because usually you like release an album and then go on tour, but because of like COVID and everything, I was on tour just like while the album was dropping. So like the singles are happening and it just like didn't like line up. So sometimes I'd be like playing a show and I'd be like about to release a song that night and I'd like tease it on TikTok, and then it would like freak me out because people would be like, play this song, and I'm like, you haven't even heard it yet, and they're like, we know the lyrics. So it was like so funny just to like watch the power of like social media as you're releasing an album, because I'm like, they know the singles before it's even like come out, which is really crazy. So
Did you ever play any of those songs that hadn't come out yet, but you knew they were gonna come out? Like, did you play any of those, and what was your reaction to the crowd singing back to you with those?
I mean, one of my biggest shows, I think it was Detroit. It was the night before I was releasing Chaotic, one of my songs. And I'd been teasing on TikTok, and they were like chanting it. And I was like, guys, like we haven't even like practiced. Like I'm not going to literally just like wing it. I haven't even practiced it. And they're like, no, do it. So there's like a whole video of this on TikTok. And I was just like, okay, well, you guys better sing with me if you guys want me to do it. So it like literally like gave me chills. Like the second I sat down and I got my guitar player to just like play the chords, and the whole crowd knew it. It was just like nuts. It was a very, very.
I feel like a lot of those songs on the album are very vulnerable, but that one I feel like also specifically is like, it's not like you just played it and I can't even imagine the like what it felt like in there, like playing it for the first time and getting that reaction.
Yeah, a song like that for sure is it's crazy. Just when you the whole process of just like thinking that people know your songs and listen to your songs and you go to a concert and play them just like doesn't make sense to me in my head. Like I don't know why. Just like I'm like, oh, no one's listening. Even if there are screens, I'm like, no one's listening. And so it's all very validating when you get to concerts and you're like, holy shit, all of you guys are like listening to me right now.
I know you just got back from this tour, but then you're about to go on like a Jingle Ball tour, right?
Yeah.
How is that? Are you as nervous as you were last year? Because last year was the first time you went and did Jingle Ball, correct?
Yeah. I mean, I love performing, so I don't necessarily get like nervous because I just love crowds. But I think it's more like a pressure that I'm like, there's going to be a lot of incredible performers, obviously, and everyone shows their A game when they get there. So it's just like make your best performance and, try and rehearse and sound and feel the best you can.
Okay, that's super cool. What was it like also hosting the VMAs red carpet? Because you did that also, right?
Okay, I was so nervous because usually at like those events, it's like I avoid the mingle. I'm like, take the picture, watch the show, like so antisocial, like just like do not interact with anyone. But basically, like as the host, you like are like forced to like meet a whole bunch of people. And I was so nervous because I'm like, how do you interview people? Like, how do you, like, you're the one who's keeping the conversation going. You're the one who has to know all the things. You're the one who has to like instigate everything. And I just like never done that before, but I got up there and it was like my favorite thing ever. I had so much fun. I was like, this is great. I love me.
Well, I guess who was your favorite person to interview on that?
Who did I interview? I mean, obviously, it's my friend process. Like, I literally thought Khalid was my first interview. And it was like the whole carpet is like very like everyone's there. There's so many people, so many cameras. It's like a full thing. And I just remember like Khalid, he like looked at me from like across the red carpet and he was like, I'm coming. And literally just like walked up and it was like a sigh of relief. Cause I'm like, oh, someone I know, comfortable. And I was just like, we had the best talk ever. And I was just like, okay, that like got it out of the way. First interview, like I feel good now and I'm like ready. So it was fun.
Okay.
Right.
So I think like 1 minute left and I had a game that I wanted to play. Well, it's not really a game. It we'll call it a game.
Okay.
So the game is called Tate Answers 8, which is like you're going to answer 68 questions in 60 seconds. Wow.
Okay.
So I'm going to have like a timer on my phone and it's going to go off in 60 seconds. Like I said, you might answer all of them, but I don't know. So we're just going to go for it. And okay, we're going to start. The first question is, who is your biggest musical inspiration?
Songwriting, Taylor Swift. Music-wise, The Weeknd.
Who has been your favorite artist to work with so far?
Writing with Shawn Mendes was very cool.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Yeah.
What artist do you want to work with the most? Yeah.
Post Malone, period.
That would be
my favorite guy ever.
What is your favorite movie snack?
Popcorn. Duh.
M&Ms or Skittles?
M&Ms.
Favorite show on Netflix right now?
This sounds horrible, but I'm watching the Jeffrey Dahmer show.
Sorry.
I'm literally in my apartment alone, terrified. Yeah.
It's a great show to watch. Okay. Favorite place? Okay. That was our timer, but I have more questions, so I'm gonna ask the rest.
Pretend.
Favorite place you've performed so far?
Probably like Boston. Like there's the rowdiest.
Will there be a music video released for Uh-Oh? Oh wait, I think that's supposed to be like. I was gonna ask if I could ask that question, but I guess since I asked.
I don't know yet. I'm not sure. Maybe that would be a fun one.
Okay, so let's have this as me petitioning for a music video for Uh-Oh. And that technically was 8 questions, but I had one more on here. So this will be my last question for you.
Okay.
And it is, what is one thing people may not know about you?
I feel like they know so much about me. Probably that I have like 2 friends. I don't know. I'm like a pretty private person. What a lame answer. What do my friends not know about? Oh, I have like 2 friends. No, I mean, yeah, I could say that. That's a good one.
Okay, well, that's that's a great answer to end the interview with. Okay, cool. Thank you so much for hopping on.
Of course. Thanks for having me.